Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines. We have here a Troy-Bilt XP Storm 3090. This is a 30-inch, pretty sure it's like a 10 horsepower. It's a China motor, so they give you the cc's, they don't really give you the horsepower, but I'm pretty sure it's 10 horsepower motor, 30 inches wide. Just want to show you how to operate and start it. First thing you want to do is check your oil. Everybody's got to check their oil. This one's pretty straightforward. You just turn it sideways one little bit, it comes off, halfway and it comes off. It's really hard to see this, the oil is very clean, but you just have to be between the upper and lower dot. I would definitely take a rag, wipe it off. I know 100% this is exactly right on the mark. We just changed the oil. Screw back down in here. Fuel goes in here. It says here right on the cap, maximum 10% ethanol. We don't have a lot of ethanol issues in this particular area. We do have a lot of issues with fuel that has a lot of additives in it for pollution control because we're in the Philadelphia metropolitan area. I would definitely recommend high test fuel, and also use your fuel stabilizer. That will actually help you when you're storing it. So I definitely use fuel stabilizer in all the fuel that I use for the shop, and it's good to put it in your can at the gas, at the gas pump when you're filling up, so you know everything that you have has fuel stabilizer in it. All right, so we have full tank gas. The knobs down here are all for starting. Okay, you have your speed adjusting. Left all the way up to rapid is full. All the way back down will also shut it off at stop. I usually put it about halfway, maybe 3/4. I don't like to run them at full speed when it's cold outside because they don't like to run when it's cold. The carburetors are non-adjustable. They really do need to warm up to actually get going properly. So it's good that you run it at a lower speed because it off of idle, but between half and 3/4 is probably where you want to be to start them up. And then sometimes you can extra prime them. But here's the primer bulb. Okay, you just push that a couple times, 2 or 3 times. Depending on how cold it is, it may need a few more. This is your on and off button here. Okay, you just have to make sure that it's actually a key. I would recommend drilling a hole in it and putting a piece of string on it and then tie it to here so you don't lose your key. The choke is down here. Right now it's in the off position. Fully choke on is all the way down, and it says right here it has a little flap across there. That's on, and then off is like that. Now we just ran this machine, so I'm not going to use choke, but I would definitely, you put it on full choke. Okay, so you put on full choke to start it. Now we're not going to, just because of the fact that it's warm, you're going to prime it a few times, 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 or 4, depending on how cold it is outside. And we do have an electric starter over here, and I just want to show you, this is the cord that they give you. Normally they give you a cord with your machine when you buy them brand new. It should be between 7, I think, and maybe 10 or 12 feet long. I wouldn't go anywhere past the 12-foot long mark because you can ruin your electric starter if the thickness of your cable isn't heavy duty enough to pull a lot of current through the cord that goes to your starter. So try that. The reason why they give them to you short is because they don't want you at the end of your driveway trying to run a 100-foot cord. It'll burn up your starter. So just plug this in. It's a 3-prong plug. You just have to figure out where it goes here, and it's pretty straightforward. Plug it in, a little bit of wiggle in there. The red button here is the start button. All this starter does is it spins the engine. So you get all your controls set up over there for starting it. You got half throttle, chokes on, prime it 3 times, 2 or 3 times, and you're gonna plug this into the wall. Okay, so like I said, all this does is it just spins the engine. So once this engine starts, I'm gonna unplug it, and then you have to take the choke off. Now we're not gonna use a choke today just because of the fact that I don't think I need it. So I'm gonna start it up, and then I'm gonna shut the machine off after so I can talk to you. After it warms up, you just want to make sure you run it all the way up on fast speed after it warms up, okay? Just because that's how it operates the best. You can always have the ground speed slower, but full speed is the best operation on how this is going to operate. Everything's going to work better at full speed. Now, when you're out in the field and you run out of gas, this is why you have a pull cord, all right? So this is the pull cord for starting your engine up. You can do it either by electric start or you can do it by your pull cord. I do know these bigger engines, it's nice to have the electric start because it just spins it faster. And like I said, when it's 32 degrees or below, when it's snowing outside, it's nice to have the electric start to start everything up. And once it gets warmed up, you're on your way. All right, so you come back to the controls now. We have 4 controls on top. One is the auger control, and you just have to read. It says right here auger, and it has an arrow. So this is what controls the snow going in, you know, as far as the augers blowing the snow out. Then on your right side, you have your drive. This is your self-propelled drive. And this confuses people here where it does say drive control here and it points an arrow, but if you look on top of the handle, it actually says auger drive lock. Now that doesn't mean this is the auger drive. That just means this is a locking handle that'll actually lock this handle on. So when you hit the auger, you put this handle down for your drive and you let go of the auger, it actually stays engaged. And that's just a nice feature that you don't have to have both hands on the machine. Some have them, some don't, it's just a different feature. And then we have here, this controls which way which way the snow is actually thrown. You have to, it's a push button. You're gonna push it in and move left, push it in and move right, and that's gonna swing it. When you let go, it'll lock itself in. All right, so you get it to the position where you want it, let go of the handle, and it locks itself in. It won't go anywhere. And then you have your up and down for your chute in the front, and that's just for direction as far as how far you're gonna be throwing it. Okay, so over here we have the drive for the speed control. You have 1 through 6, actually, yes, 1 through 6 on here. I would start it definitely in the 1 or 2 category, depending on how deep the snow is, depending on how fast you're gonna have to go. It just depends on the snow that you're in. And you have a couple reverses, 1 and 2 for speeds for reverse. Very nice to have reverse on these snow throwers. Now that brings me to another thing where you have these little locking handles, and everybody wonders what these are for. This is actually, it will not move left and right. It's direct drive for both wheels. Okay, so right now it's in direct drive for both wheels. Even though we can push it, when your drive is on, it's going to try to pull both tires. All right. If you want to try to turn and you're having a hard time turning, if you lift up on this handle down here, this actually unlocks one of the wheels. So it'll actually let you be able to turn this thing a lot easier. It's very good for when you get down to an end of a stretch of snow and you're ready to turn around. If you try to turn this thing around right now, you're fighting the wheels, so it's really hard. But if you pull up on one trigger or the other, you're going to have, it goes freewheel, so it actually freewheels it. And then when you let it go, it locks it back in. So when you go into the snow, you have both wheels turning. It's a very nice feature. I love these handles. It actually works great for at the end of your run turning around. Plus it gives you dual traction when you're going into heavy snow. So that's a very nice feature. The other feature this has also is it has heated handles. You can always tell if you have heated handles by looking at the wires that may go up into your handlebars. If any wires go up in your handlebars, most likely you're going to have heated handles. Some people tell me that it didn't work. Well, it's really hard to tell on this one, but these handles will not work until you find the button that tells you to turn it on and off. It's not even highlighted. It should be in red or something like that so you can see it. But it's out of the way. You can't see it. I is usually for ignition, but I would say the I is on and for ignition, and then O is off. So once you turn this on and you give yourself about 5 minutes of run time, you're going to start feeling these get warm. And if they get too warm, you just turn them off. Some of them are automatic, some of them just come on as the engine runs, and this one here actually has a switch. So if you're ever out there wondering why your handles aren't warming up and you know you have cables running to them, it's probably because there's a switch that you haven't seen. So that's a very nice feature there. And I think that's pretty much everything. I don't think I missed anything. Just like I said, make sure you check your oil before starting. If you liked the video, give it the thumbs up, and thanks for watching, and please subscribe.